Good morning. We are alive. We are alive here. Thank you very much for being here today in this show, the radio talk show, Building Resilience. We're going to begin today. We didn't do the show last week because we were having a trip. You know, the people that know me, my name is Jose Pereira. I'm the host of this show, Building Resilience. And we're doing this simultaneously in Facebook Live and LinkedIn Audio Room. So thank you everybody to be here because we are gonna be talking a topic that is really, I think, is very meaningful for the persons that are gonna begin to join the show. We're gonna be talking about a topic called power skills over technical skills. Before we begin the talk, I'm gonna give the opportunity to the persons to connect. I decided last week to not to do the show because that Monday, I do this show every Monday, but that last Monday, I was in a business trip to New York. I was invited to an event in the United Nations. It was a great event because the event was named Encouraged Hostage Taken. I'm a former hostage. I belong to the hostage community, and today, one of the things that I am big advocate for this situation, what is called the hostage situation in the life. So for me, it's very important that this topic is part of my life. I in this October 1st, I had my second anniversary of have been released. So for me, it's very important. So now I have the opportunity to have this talk with you. So thank you for the people that are beginning to join the stage. I wanted to test the audio in LinkedIn because always LinkedIn is doing things. Are the people in stage in audio room in LinkedIn hearing me? Please give me a thumbs up if you are hearing me okay. Okay, great. Because sometimes LinkedIn is doing glitches, so we have to be sure that people are hearing. Okay, so let's begin today. This topic we're going to talk is very important because it's the power skills versus the technical skills. What are the power skills? Typically, in the past, these were called soft skills, and when you talk about soft skills, looks like it's less important than the other skills that are the technical skills. I'm not gonna say that the technical skills are not important because, of course, if you're in a leadership position in any company or in a business, you need to have the technical skills. The technical skills are relevant for your business because you have to know the business you're running. But the power skills that were known before as soft skills are becoming more and more every day more important because these are those skills that really makes a person to become a great leader. So what we're talking here about? We're talking about here, basically, I always mention 5 topics. It can be much more, but let's concentrate in 5 topics. So when we're talking about power skills, I'm gonna mention first of all, what is called the emotional intelligence. Second, the empathy. Third, the adaptability. Fourth, communication. And fifth, the influence, or that is what is the leadership. So these 5 tools, these 5 traits, these 5 skills are so important that anybody that really embrace it and have these 5 skills, believe me, is going to become a great leader. So let's begin to deep down on this. Before we continue, thank you for the people that are beginning to join the room. I have here Akitoba, I have Anjal, Dr. Rashad. Thank you, Dr. Rashad, always for being here. And John, I have here also, let me see who, Shantanu. So and we have here also in Facebook Live. We have Daniel. Always is very consequent. We have Paul. We have John, we have Rebecca, we have Pastor Olu. Sorry, I cannot pronounce the name. Well, okay, but thank you for being here. So thank you for being here in Facebook Live, and thank you for being here in the LinkedIn audio room. So let's begin to deep dive in these five concepts. So now we're talking about, we said emotional intelligence, that is the first one. So what is the emotional intelligence? What is the emotional intelligence? The emotional intelligence is defined as the ability to recognize, to understand, and to manage your emotions. That is called as the EQ, because the other is the intellectual intelligence, that is the IQ. So the EQ is what is called the emotional intelligence. So it's the ability to recognize, to understand, and to manage your emotion. So a leader that can control his emotion, that has the ability to transmit that to their employees, to their team, their peers, their management team, anybody where you are surrounded, is the leader that really is gonna do great. Because emotional intelligence is something, believe me, looks like simple, but it's so difficult that people have emotional intelligence. The good news is that you can train your brain. You can really train your brain, and if you don't have emotional intelligence, try to find it. The important is you have the intention to embrace the emotional intelligence. Well, why is so important, the emotional intelligence? The emotional intelligence is very important because that always foster positive interaction with your employees. So if you are a guy that you're in a leadership position, and you have emotional intelligence to treat with your employees, you will connect with them. You will have always positive interaction with them, because this is the way that people really connect. So for example, in any situation that you're having in your business, any conflict, if you have emotional intelligence, you always will have your mindset to resolve the conflict. So the emotional intelligence is important for conflict resolutions. Also, it build trust with your employees. If you're a guy that you really embrace the emotional intelligence, that will make you be a trustful person for your employee. They will see that you are a reliable person, and you will become trustful. So that's why it's so important, the emotional intelligence. So when you are a guy that have emotional intelligence, you have to try to have that balance between the intellectual intelligence and the emotional intelligence. Again, the intellectual intelligence is more related to the technical skills, because, for example, if you're running an engineer company, you have to have the engineer skills. It's very important. I'm not saying that it's not important, but not necessarily that's the most important thing. For example, if you're running a hospital, maybe you have to be a doctor, but not necessarily you have to be a doctor, because what you're running is people. What you're running is people. So it's more important having those power skills, and of course combined with the technical skills. So now let's talk about the second power skill, that is the empathy. The empathy, I have talked a lot here about this, but I will never stress more. Alison, hello. I didn't see you coming. How have you been, Alison? Are you hearing me, Alison? Maybe, well, she's connected.
And I'm listening.
Okay.
Yes, I'm listening. You're talking about emotional intelligence. I'm here.
Okay, because I was concentrated talking, I didn't see when you were coming. So let me
That's fine, no problem.
let me do a stop to welcome the people that are coming to the audience. So I have here Michael, I have here Basil, Mauricio, Sri Krishna. We have Mike Greco, always very supportive. Shantanu, we have Muhash, we have Akintoba, Anjal, Dr. Anshad, and John. Thank you, all the people are joining, and also we have people in the Facebook Live. So let's continue talking about this topic. So now we're talking about what is the empathy. Empathy is something that everybody can rely with this, because when you are a leader and you really manifest empathy with your employee, you become a really reliable and trustful person. Because the empathy is that capacity to understand the others and put in their shoes. And believe me, it's difficult because when you're in a leadership position, sometimes you feel that you are in the top, and one of the big mistakes the leader does that they lose that connection, and they lose empathy, and a leader always has to get grounded. It's very important that you get grounded. As a leader, always you need to get grounded. I will never stress more. Always, I have been talking this, that people connect with others only being people. The only way you connect with the people is being human being. It's the only way. You can have all the skills in the world. You can be a very intelligent guy. You can be a very planned guy. You can be a wonderful administrator, a budget controller, whatever you want. But if you don't have these power skills, if you are not an empathic person, if you don't connect with a person, a human being, that business will not run. So the only way that really the people connect is being human being. And I cannot stress this more, because this is not something that is in the books. And no. This is something that is a proof of life. I did my career always based on having empathy and treating correctly the employees, the people that work with you. And when I went through my hostage situation, one of the things that made me survive was that connection, that human connection we did with the other people, and that's what gets you grounded. So that's why the empathy is so important. When you are a person that cultivates the empathy, that as I said, it builds trust. It really builds trust with your people, because that will create a supportive team, and the people will feel that they will feel they are valued. Because when you put in the shoes of the other, the people will see that you are valued. So this is very important, the empathy. Let's talk about adaptability. This is another thing that I always talk about. Adaptability for me was part of the way I could survive my 5 years of hostage, being adaptive. So in a leadership position, the most important, one of the most important things is being adaptive. Because today, this is a changing world. This is a changing world. So you have to be going with the times. So a leader has to be adapting to the situation. What that means, that the leader has to be flexible, has to have open mind, and today is in the fast pace in the world. This is a bonus. Is a leader can have that mindset. Is open-minded. Is flexible. Even if you're running a business, if that situation in the market, in the economy, anything can be changing, you immediately adapt according to the situation. And not only you, because the leader has to be adapted by their employees too. Because those businesses that become successful are those that become adaptive, those that are changing. If you see that the successful companies in the world, they always are evolving according to how the trend goes. They adapt to the situation. They adapt to the market. They adapt to the ages. They adapt to the belief of the people. They adapt to the situation that's going in the world. So being adaptive is very, very important, one of the power skills. The other thing we have been talking about, the emotional intelligence. We have been talking about the empathy. We have been talking about the adaptability. Now let's talk about communication. Communication is something, I believe the communication can be the most important of the power skills. Because when you are a good communicator, and being good communicator is not is only be a speaker, because you have to be a good speaker, but also a good listener. So because the communication has to be both ways. You communicate your vision, and you hear what your employees are saying. So this is the way a great leader can be successful, being a great communicator. Because the communication is really the backbone of these power skills. as I said, it's not only just talking, it's listening, not hearing, listening, having a clear articulation and meaning about what the people are feeling. You know, because maybe you think that you're doing okay, but you need to have that feedback for your employees. So that's what will make the connection when you communicate with them and then you have the feedback from them. It will create that culture of transparency in your business. When you have that open communication as part of your framework in your business, that will create that sense of transparency and collaboration. So that's why it's so important, the communication. And the less of the skills, the power skills that I wanted to mention here is the influence. The influence is meaning about how you can influence others, how you can inspire others, how you can become a role model for the other, how you can lead by example. So this is also very important in a leader. A leader not only has to be a leader, he has to inspire the people. He has to communicate his vision, but he has to inspire, because you don't do nothing communicating and the people don't get the message. The people really need to understand why you're doing what you're doing, why you want to be where you want to be. I was the other day was having a talk. I see somebody that was raising the hand. Let me tell you how is the mechanic for those that are new to the show. Normally, this show is a 1 hour show because I have a slot in the radio station. Thank you very much, HOD radio station, for having me here. I have this slot for 1 hour. So what I do is I have like a 30 minutes talk, and I cut the talk and I begin to give the opportunity to the people to join in the room to interact, because I love to hear the interaction. I love to hear your opinion. So you're gonna have enough time. I'm gonna have 30 minutes for you. So in some minutes, I'm gonna ask the people that want to join the show to raise their hands. I'm gonna begin to raise people to the show, and you can have your share, your own opinion. If you have some question, please, I'm open here. I want to say here before we continue several things. I want to announce that tomorrow is going to begin the Amazon Prime Day. That is going to be the day after tomorrow. Sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Amazon Prime is going to have the Amazon Prime Day. That is kind of a beginning of a kind of a Black Friday. The Amazon does. It's a 3 days. They open all the stores and there are big discounts. I decided to put, because I have my book out in the Amazon Prime, I decided to put during those 3 days my book. My book is here, From Hero to Billion. You hear From Hero to Billion. I have been promoting it because it's my story. It's the story of what I went through during my 5 years of captivity, and where I talk my reflections. The important for me of the book is not my story, it's the reflections. The reflection that I live there, that is today what I always are talking with the people. That things in life, you can make it. You have to have the proper mindset. So during those 3 days, my book is the paperback is gonna be with a 50% discount, and the people that want to download the Kindle, I'm gonna open it for free. So you can go to my Amazon, that you will see here in the Facebook, and I'm gonna put it also in the audio room, the link. Anybody, because maybe people don't have money to buy the book, no problem. You can download it for free. I want the people to read my story and read my reflections, and of course, leave me a review, because for me it's important this share, because I'm part of my thing today is express gratitude for the situation that I went through, and miraculously I'm back. I have 2 years. They came back in October 1st, and today I'm here sharing with you because of that. I have the opportunity to share with you. So let's continue. So let me say thanks to Omar that is coming to the show, Rosemary, Sayan, we have Shirley, Zainab, Abby Bowie, and some more people coming. So thank you, the people that are coming here in Facebook. Also, we have Simone, Joshua, and we have Nauren. we had Adama, Jude, we had Wallace, we had Jeffrey, we have Samuel, we have Daniel. So thank you all the people that are joining the show. So let's continue with the power skill. The last power skill is the influence. We said that the influence is important because that is going to inspire your employee, inspire your team. When you're a great leader, you influence your team. So when you influence, you can align your team to have common goals, because that is the beauty of the influence, because now you are communicating your vision, because you as a leader, you have a vision, you know where you want to go, you know how your business want to trend, what moves you, and you give that to your employee and you inspire them, you lead them, and you lead by example. This is very important. You have to lead by example. You have to lead what you are communicating. So when you lead by example, you are demonstrating first integrity. More important, because now you are an integral person, and you are showing them positivity, because now they see that you are the person that you have to follow. And even if you're having any failure, even if you're having any setback, even if you're having any problem in your business, because now you're an adaptive person and you communicate that to your employees, they will follow you. So that's what makes the business successful. So here I want to wrap with the 5 power skills that we talked today. We talked about the emotional intelligence. We talk about the empathy. We talk about the influence. We talk about the communication. And we talk about the adaptability. Those are the 5 power skills. There are much more, but if you are a leader and you have these 5 power skills, you are gonna be a great leader. So there comes a question. So how can I nurture this? How I can become, because maybe you don't see that you have all those skills. So you say, how I'm gonna become a great leader? How I can do this? So there are several steps you can follow for this. So I'm gonna also give you 5 steps, very easy, that you can do to nurture those power skills. The first thing that you have to do is try to practice the active listening. So try to engage with collaborations, with conversation. Try to build a strength with your employee. Sometimes people have this problem because sometimes leaders are shy. But believe me, you can retrain yourself. You can unleash that leadership that you have inside. But of course, you need to have support. Here is where it comes. Having mentors, having coach is so important, because it can help you. I'm a leadership and a resilient coach, and that is part of the things that I train. I train C-suite executive how they can empower these power skills, how they can become a proactive listener, how they can improve their communication skills. So one of the things that you have to do is try to engage in conversation. I strongly recommend people go to networking events, assist virtual or in present networking event, and show up, yourselves. Tell what you do, what moves you. So this is the way you can become an active communicator and an active listener. Listen to people. You have to invest in your self-awareness. When I said invest in your self-awareness, is that you have to hire people that can help you in this. Again, having a coach. I am a leadership coach where one of my coaching is trying to, connect your business success with your personal fulfillment, because this is one of the most important things when you're having scaling in the ladder, having biggest leadership position, that people begin to not to take care of their well-being. So having taking care of your well-being is so important, and having self-awareness, identify your strengths, but identifying your weakness. And you don't have to be you don't have to consider that if you identify your weakness that you're weak. And the contrary, when you identify your weakness, you know what you have to improve. If you identify that you need to improve your communication, invest in communication. If you have identified that you need to be more empathic, invest in becoming empathic. If you have identified that you have problems to be adaptive, invest in learning how to be adaptive. If you need to have more emotional intelligence, invest in that. There are wonderful trainers for training for emotional intelligence. So, but invest in yourself. Practice the self-awareness, but you have to invest in yourself. One way that you can also become a better leader and have better power skill is practicing being more empathic. Sometimes the leaders have the problem that when they're in a leadership position, they create like a shield and they disconnect with their employees. One of the things that a leader has to do is connect with them. Go and talk with them. Prepare meetings, communicational meetings. Have a breakfast with them. Create a group of where you can connect with them. Organize a party, do a celebration, whatever, and you connect with the employee. You can talk with them, have the interaction. When you do that, the people will see that you value them. So that will enhance your ability to be more empathic. You have to be adapting and innovative. So this is something very important. And again, you have to invest in that. You have to invest in how become a better leader and be more adaptive and put it in place in your business. So if you feel that the people need to have more adaptability, contract a coach and have a coach with those groups how they can become more adaptive. That will pay off for your business, okay? And of course, lead by example. You have to practice leading by example always. Always leading by example is the most important thing, having leading by example. And finally, because we're getting to the 30 minutes, so anybody that wants to talk, you can raise your hands in this moment because I'm going to be wrapping up here. Okay, so let me bring Dr. Achad and John, and in a few minutes I'm going to give you opportunity to speak. Okay. So as a conclusion, I want to say here that I always talk about a case study. I was reading about a manager that for some reason I'm gonna say call her Patricia. This is a leader of a big company, and they were going through a restructuring process, and one of the problems that this company was having is that the people was not adapting for the new situation, and unfortunately that lead the company to have a lot of problems. So when a manager practice this power skill that we're talking today here is where it can be any change that are going in their company can make them be more successful. It can make the changes more smooth. So that's why it's important having, again, emotional intelligence, communication, empathy, adaptability, and being influenced. So these 5 power skills. So in conclusion, if you practice any of these and put all this in practice, again, you can be trained to do it. You have to invest in yourself to acquire these abilities. You can become a great leader, and you are going to do a positive impact in your team and in your organization. And this is the way that you will become successful. So set this. We're gonna begin to open the mic. Let me say thanks to the people that have come to the now. With Honorable Abossi, we have Muhammad, we have Yolanda, we have Safer, we have Rosemary, we have Lara, we have Sain, Shirley, Zainab, Akitoba, Anjali, Mike Raker, Shanatu, and here in Facebook we have Judy, we have Wallace Mortek, Jeffrey Lim, Samuel, Charles, Daniel. Thank you for all the people that are here. I'm gonna leave this recorded. Okay, so set this. I'm gonna open the mics. So, Dr. Arshad, thank you for coming to the show. The mics are yours.
Thank you very much, Jose, for having me here. Actually, I've got a very busy schedule, but since you invited me, I thought I must definitely come in and speak on this subject since I'm also running an institute of professional studies, as you know, and I've been in the corporate world for long enough to agree with you totally. I believe that power skills are much more important than technical skills, and it comes from the person themselves. Um, Obviously, it includes, in my understanding as a leader, and having led multinational companies, having been all over the world, I know that communication, in my book, is the most important. The reason why I say that is because you have to be able to understand. I'm a good listener, and I believe in listening first. That is the best quality that a good leader must have, and you should be clear, concise, and very respectful in your verbal and written communication. I even teach my students that the words please, thank you, and sorry must be mentioned. These three words must be mentioned in every communication. I actively practice listening myself because I believe you gain knowledge through listening. Then coming on to what you had mentioned on emotional intelligence, obviously self-awareness about your own strengths and weaknesses, empathy and social skills are extremely important. You have to remember not to become over emotional. You've got to manage stress and also at the same time think about building strong relationships. You have to be a problem solver. You've got to think very creatively, and you have to be innovative and resourceful at the same time. Then you've got to build up a team. That is very important in your soft skills. You've got to be able to collaborate, be adaptable, and build mutual support within the team. Obviously, communication plays a major role in that. And then the last point that I have here is that you've got to be very adaptable. You've got to be flexible, and of course, you are learning continuously. So stay curious. As a coach, that is what I teach people all the time. You've got to adjust to change and seek feedback all the time. Well, that's all that I'll say for the time being, Jose. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, Dr. Arshad is always very wise, and I cannot be more agreeable with all what you said. And you said something very important. Be innovative, be curious. That's what makes a leader really successful, when he's curious and he's adaptive. I always put the example. There's a video of, I am a big fan of Steve Jobs. I always talk about Steve Jobs. So you will hear me talking about Steve Jobs all the time. Well, Steve Jobs did a famous video back into the 80s where he was showing that what he was thinking that was going to become the trend on the world, that was the iPad. He was introducing the iPad. And at that moment, nobody believed in him because that was the time that all the big computers, you know. So he was thinking in a very flat a screen to become what is today the iPad. So that guy really was thinking totally outside the box. We have today guys like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is maybe the Steve Jobs of this time, but these guys are so innovative, are so curious. They're thinking in things that maybe the people don't believe, and they make them happen. That's what makes this guy great. So thank you very much for your thoughts, Dr. Rashad. And John, mics are yours.
Greetings, Alison. The twin of Dr. Arshad, mirror image. You bring in a lot of thoughtful conversations, sir. I would like to add just two things. First is, it would be wrong to have a comparison between power skills and technical skills. A week has 7 days, you have 7 new shirts. So everything adds on to your persona and to your confidence. Number one. Number two, Mr. excuse me. The fact is, I need just half a minute to take an interview and to equate their IQ vis-a-vis the power skills and the technical skills and EQ, sir. Number three, during Second World War, many would not be aware that the Gestapos, the Secret Service, they would take prisoners of war and put them into camps, of which the Western world had no idea whatsoever. Within, I think, about 3 weeks, these very places were heavily bombarded, and of course there were casualties, but many of them were released. Now, what happened actually, Mr. Jose? The Americans at that time, before the war, they had discovered a thing called mental telepathy. You may have heard the word, but the thing is, without a telephone, without a communication, without a letter, without nothing, they were trained that within 60 seconds of absolute concentration to the people who sent them there, they could convey their locations, how many of them were there. And this is now a study material of what happened in the Second World War. There were some of them were moved to Africa. The Germans and the others were absolutely shocked. This is the power of a skill which we humans have forgotten conveniently. So I think I'd close with the fact that your room really brings out knowledge, honesty, and sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Morning to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Well, that very well said, and John. Thank you very much for your share. Always very insightful. So, if anybody more wants to come to the stage, we have some time to continue hearing your opinions. If not, I want to. We're gonna finalize in some minutes, but I want. Alice, you want to say something?
Yeah, just want to say that, well, hello to everyone, hello to Dr. Arshad, hello to Anton, hello to everyone. Just want to emphasize the importance of the skills that you mentioned, especially, empathy and, emotional intelligence. Those are some of the top skills, those are some of the top people skills that are needed. Even with the advent of AI, those are skills that are needed. I saw this recently posted by the World Economic Forum, where they mentioned that emotional intelligence especially was one of those skills that is going to be the top 5 skills needed in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you're highlighting this, and of course empathy is very much important. If you are going, if you want to learn emotional intelligence, then also you have to understand empathy as well. So I just want to say, I love the fact that you also, spoke about them being power skills, over technical skills. So I love the conversation, and of course, what was added by Dr. Arshad and John. So keep doing an amazing job, Jose, as usual.
Well, thank you for your thoughts, Alison. Let me tell you something. Alison said something very important. When in the today in the world, with all the situation that's happening in the world, is really really important having emotional intelligence, because the only way that today there are very hard negotiations in any stage, in your business, in the politics, in the international relations. Always is very very important that the people they are connecting have the emotional intelligence, because sometimes the problems that are happening in the world is because the people don't understand the other, and there where it comes the importance of the emotional intelligence. When you have emotional intelligence, you can understand, and you have the empathy, as Alison said. You can understand why the other person thinks how he thinks, because remember, we are formed for our beliefs, for the things that we were raised, our culture, sometimes our religion. Uh, so are many things that forms the way you think, and sometimes you use that as like a, it's a paradigm. It's something that is fixed, and that's what you believe in, period. And that's what's happening today in the world, that there are so fixed thoughts that the people just don't understand the other, and that's why there are these big difference. And it's happening here in this country too. I can tell you, you can hear here in the U.S. all these problems, having debates under things like genders or abortion or whatever. So because the people don't understand the other. So today I agree with Alison. The emotional intelligence is one of the most important skills that is needed in today's world. And another thing that for me is very important is that the people have to lead by example. One of the most important things that I think that today is lacking is that the leaders say something but they do something different. That is why the politics has lost so much trust. The people don't trust in some countries the politics, because they say something and they do another thing. And that's what a leader has to be really. It's important for a leader that they do what they say and they practice it, so they can lead by example, because they are saying something but that's what they are doing too. So that's one of the most important things in leadership. And of course we said about communication, very important in communication. But again I will repeat it again, that people connect being people. This is the way that people connect. And it's the people that are hearing me here in Facebook Live, or hearing audio, or in the recording, because I'm going to put this in recording so that people can hear in the recording. I put it in the recording. I put it here in LinkedIn, in Facebook, and also in my webpage. The people that want to hear more, in my webpage is Jose Connect, joseconnect.com. In my webpage, you will find everything, because I have a YouTube channel where I talk about leadership, tons of things related to leadership. I have this recording of the podcast. I have my coaching program there. I have my speaking program there too. I'm going to be speaking next week in Miami, and in 2 weeks I'm going to be in Detroit, and in November I'm going to be also speaking in Las Vegas. So I have like 3 speaking in the next week, where I talk about this, and the way that people can really enhance their leadership skills is taking care of their self. Investing in their self-awareness, understanding their weakness, understanding their strengths, and working their weakness. When you identify your weakness, so you can tackle them, you can begin to study, you can begin to retrain your brain and try to become a better person. Because when you retrain your brain to do this power skills, you're not only becoming a great leader, you're becoming a better person too. Because one of the things that today I cannot emphasize more, one of the biggest mistakes leaders do when they are in leadership position, that they don't take care of their personal fulfillment, their personal life. And there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. You cannot be a successful leader and having your life broken. And unfortunately, this is more common than the people can believe. People there are a great leader, and they are divorced. Their 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 son doesn't talk to them. They don't have connection with their friends. They are alone. They are alone. So you need to have that balance. If you are in a leadership position, or you pretend, or you in your goals are to become a leader, never forget that you need to have a balance between your business success and your personal fulfillment, your personal life. And the only way to do it is being grounded. When you are grounded, when you connect with the people and grounded, when you are empathic, you understand the others, you foster friendship. Your employees can become even as friends. And I understand that people sometimes try to put a barrier because they to try to have this, but you need to have that clear borderline between you being the leader, them being their employee, but fostering a environment where you can have an open communication, when the people feel they are taken in care, that you have a great place to work. That when you put all these things together, that is exactly what the successful companies are doing. And the people, when they feel that they are treated properly, they are being taken care, they will feel like the company belongs to them. So they will feel that they are part of the company, and that's how they can bring better things to do to improve the business, and that will be a win-win situation. It will be a win-win situation for you and for your employee. So I'm gonna say thank you for Peter that came to the stage. Movine and Felix also came to the stage, and I have here in Facebook Live. Let me mention, I have Laikurna Naosha, we have Rakesh, we have Kunman, we have Jaidin, you have Malabi, we have Ruling, we have Baptist Joseph, we have Heroyiti, Aslam, Daniel, Ayantu, we have Nairom, Joshua, Adama, and Walaka, Jeffrey, Samuel, and Daniel. Well, thank you for the big audience in Facebook. Again, we're gonna come into the end of the show. If somebody wants to have anything else, it's time they can raise the hand.
Yeah, Jose, I've got something to say if I can be given a minute or two,
Of
please.
course, you have time. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd like to carry out a bit of a discussion with you on this. You've mentioned the problems in the war. Whatever is happening in the world today, there are wars raging in which actually involved very deeply in peace conferences and peace initiatives. Don't you think that people who are in the leadership roles these days are becoming rather over emotional?
That's why the intelligence and the emotional intelligence is important, because the people have to understand where the other comes from. Because one of the problems that are to, and I don't want to go deep in politics here, but of course, when you see what's going on in the world, the people don't understand the other, and they will never get any agreement, because everybody's talking from their beliefs, and their beliefs is what they think, and they will not change their opinion. So it's a very hard call what's going today in the world.
Where, frankly, I would like to add to the kind of personal attributes that people must have. And when we're talking about soft skills, obviously people must learn. We've got to change leadership, I believe. And we've got to make people develop a positive attitude towards life, not be negative. And basically, I think we've got to learn to motivate people more so that they focus on solutions, not on actually looking at problems all the time. And they've got to build resilience somehow, cope with stress. There's too much of stress, whether it's the workplace or whether it's societies or countries or whatever. We've got to develop coping strategies. We've got to learn from previous mistakes. And therefore, that is the way out in somehow seeking support. Now, I believe that all leaders must be chosen on the basis of ethics, which is honesty and accountability. I mean, you've got elections coming up in the US, and everybody's looking and focused that way also. Yes, we must not talk on politics on LinkedIn. And lots of people, unfortunately, are into politics on LinkedIn. But at the same time, things might blow out of proportion. And therefore, we've got to change direction of thinking of people to become more innovative and imaginative and think of more business resourcefulness. And that is why I would say that we must have very strategic thinking, vision for themselves, basically, so that they can take decisions in the right area that set their own goals. That's all that I thought I was important to mention at the end, towards the end.
No,
Thank you very much, Jose.
and you're totally right. Let me tell you something, Dr. Rashad. I met the other day a guy. I'm going to put this example here. I met the other day a guy that he was one of the negotiators. I don't know if you remember this platform that BP had in here in the U.S., that Deep Horizon, that had a big failure, they killed a lot of people and did a lot of damage, environmental damage, etc. Well, this guy was one of the negotiators with the people that were involved in that event. And he was telling me that for him was so important, trying to put in the shoes of the people that he was talking, because we were talking of people that lost their families, or maybe now are having a terminal illness because of that, whatever. So he was the guy in charge to get the settlement for all these people. Can you imagine the emotional intelligence that a person that is in that position had to have? Because he need to understand what's going on with the others, and as you said, become a problem solver and not a problem maker. So it's so important, those skills in any line of business, in any position that you're having. So said this, we're gonna now coming to the end of the show. Thank you for all the people that were here. Thank you for the people that were in the Facebook Live. Thank you for the people that were in the LinkedIn audio room. Thank you for all the attendance. I'm gonna leave this recorded. I'm gonna put it in Facebook and LinkedIn, recording maybe this afternoon or tomorrow. If somebody wants to go there, again, you can go also into my webpage, joseconnect.com. Remember that I'm gonna, from next Wednesday, my book is gonna be in Amazon Prime. If you want a paper book, it's gonna be 50% discount. Or if you want to download the Kindle, it's gonna be 3 days for free. I'm gonna leave it there for free. So said this, Alison, you want to say something else before we conclude? Oh, maybe Alison is not there. Well, okay, we're coming to the end. Thank you, everybody that was here.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. But no, I just want to say, when persons are coming on next time, invite somebody else to listen in, because these conversations, all will agree that these conversations are so power packed, they are so full of resources. So just invite somebody when you're coming on the next time.
Okay, no problem. We can take care of that. Maybe you can help me in that, okay? Okay?
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody that was here today. Thank you. We're coming to the end. Bye.